As always, we have ourselves a very special episode, but even more special today in studio, interviewing Jane Connely from Heal the Brain with Jane. That's right, occupational therapist, face-to-face, Jane Connely. She's the first OT we had on the show. Should have been Kaylee. Don't be jealous, Kaylee. Still love you. You'll be on soon. OT edition of the NeuroNerds. Boom. Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Lauren.
And we are
the NeuroNerds. Yes, that was on time.
I feel pretty good about that.
NeuroNerds.
Welcome to the NeuroNerds. I say this every single time. It's like a weekly thing now. This is a very special episode. All our episodes are special, but this is like super extra special. And I really mean that. So we've had guests. We've had stroke survivor guests. We've had aneurysm guests. We've had people with ischemic strokes. We have people with hemorrhagic strokes. We haven't had the stroke adjacents, right? Like somebody who works in stroke and is part of our community, but isn't like part of our community like that. Today with me, live and in person, Heal the Brain with Jane Connely.
Oh my God. I'm here.
I'm so happy that she's here in person.
Me too.
So Jane is an occupational therapist. Jane is an amazing occupational therapist who's super passionate about what she does. She's a vital member in our community, and I'm so happy that she's here. She's also one of the coolest people I know.
Oh my.
I mean that, Jane. I mean
oh
that.
My God.
And that's coming from me. I find myself pretty damn cool.
You are.
Oh, obviously. Also super humble, the most humble. So Jane, let's get into your story, because you're super passionate about, like, super passionate, and specifically about the stroke community.
Yeah, stroke and TBI are my jam, and concussion.
Like, where did that come from?
So I think it came from, first of all, like as an OT, you can go in all these different directions. It's a really broad profession. And I felt like I found my home when I started working with stroke and with traumatic brain injury. It was like, there is this like awesome psychosocial component, but then there's also like a real hands-on thing. And I am so touchy and I love hands. Like I'm obsessed. So I'm actually like working towards my hand certification too, which is like 5 years post OT or PT school. And I just, all the certifications, I want them. Right. Anyway. But I start working
collecting them like Pokemon cards.
Oh, hell yeah. I love that you said that. Or what were those things?
Pogs. Oh my God. Oh my. How did I know that immediately?
Pogs were so cool.
Wait. In hindsight, were they?
Yeah, no, they still
really
are. Like if mom would have let me, I would have kept mine collection. So
good job. Me. Good job, Mom. Good job.
No, yeah. Bridgie's like, these are lame. So that's good. Anyway, so I like decided, I get to this place where I'm like working with stroke, and that's my whole caseload. So I'm outpatient, 8 hours a day, stroke. And I'm like, oh, I want to know more. So I went and got this neurodevelopmental treatment certification. So in the UK, that's the BOBAT. And it's like the foundation for our treatment. Mm-hmm. And this woman, Berta Bobath, I can't go. She sounds like
a superhero.
She is my superhero.
She's like Peter Parker.
She's so legit. Basically, she found like back when polio was a really big deal, vaccinate your kids. She like would go into the hospitals. She was a gymnast. She would go into the hospitals and she would be like, geez, I could do something with these kids. So she went and got her physiotherapy license and used her like gymnastic cueing. And she built this whole thing. Then she married this physiatrist, Carl Bobath, and they started neurodevelopmental treatment. And I'm like the hugest fan in the whole world. Like I use all things. I use, eSTEM, I use ultrasound, I use all of that, but it's always underneath neurodevelopmental treatment and like weight bearing. And I love it.
She's like the godfather of all that stuff.
Yes, she's the godmother.
The godmother.
Hey.
Sexist Joe.
Oh boy. No, but she's seriously like the coolest thing. So I have 2 kids. I had my first kid and he was still like nursing. So I'd have to go and like pump in between my certifications. And so like for 2 years, I would go for these like 6-day clinicals, and I would go and like learn and take tests. And it was a 6-part thing. And then I got certified right after I had George. So, or no, I was pregnant with George. So this is what happened too. This is what was crazy. I'm getting certified. I'm like, I wrote like a 70-page thesis, and I'm filling it out, and my dad had a stroke.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. He had a heart attack and a stroke.
How very common.
Yeah, super common. But my cousin, Ben Panther, and my uncle, Aiden Rady, he's a
Ben Panther, is he a superhero? That's a superhero name.
Right? He's a physician's assistant. He's a PA. He's so rad. And then my Aunt Joan helped too, and she's a nurse. My uncle is a cardiac surgeon. They all were there because they were at this wedding for my cousin, Meg Jacoby. Yay, Meg.
Go on, Meg.
So they're all there, and Dad has like a whole event.
Wow.
And he was leaving. He's like, I feel sick. And he was getting in the car, and my mom was going to pull the car around, and he like full on cardiac arrest, and then did not have a pulse for like 15 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
And my uncle and my cousin Ben, they just kept working on him. And
thank goodness.
I mean, crazy.
You're a family full of doctors.
I know. Seriously.
That's amazing.
It was so crazy. And
it's a Lifetime movie.
It is. No, it is. And he's like, my dad is like this little Irish leprechaun. He's so cute. He's like, just like such a funny dude. And
it's so strange because you're so tall, Jane.
It's a joke. So anyway, so he always calls himself the Legend of Lucky Pat. And literally he has 9 lives. Like he's had so many like medical problems and culminating in this big, huge one. And then he came through this, like, I wouldn't believe in. And so much of it is that we had a family who understood what he was going through and could advocate for him.
Right.
And that he has this like incredible faith and in himself and in God, and just like pulled through.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
All of those things are necessary. Not necessarily look, believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
And whatever you believe in, a higher power, with the universe, whatever it is, have belief, have faith. You have to have that.
There's a lot of studies that show that.
Oh my gosh, I'm here because of it.
Yeah.
Like I say it and I say a lot of things a lot. But when I was in the hospital, there were prayer groups around the world for me.
Oh my gosh.
There was
amazing.
Muslims, there was Jewish people, there was, just hippies, Catholics, Christians, everybody praying for me.
Right.
Now, it wasn't one in particular side.
Mm-hmm.
It was all of that same energy, that same healing energy that helped heal me. I believe that. I really do believe that. And on top of the fact that like you had a family full of advocates for your dad.
Yeah.
My
brother's a doctor too.
Is everybody a doctor?
Dude, no, but I have a really big family. So.
Well, you're Irish. I get it.
Irish Catholics.
Oh my gosh. I have a very small family of 106.
Exactly. No, but so what was so cool is that like, I mean, and then what was really special for me is like, I was super pregnant. My dad's really sick and I'm finishing this thesis, and I would get all these text messages. I'm going to cry now from my,
hey, I'm the one that normally cries on this podcast.
I know. I love it. From my patients who were who I had visited in the hospital and had like been with them for like several years, that were just like, hey, praying for your dad. Like, don't worry about coming back. Cause I would text them like, are you doing your exercises? Because
you still have the responsibility of the patients and you're an amazing OT.
Well, and I just like, so much of it is like you have said from day one is just not being alone.
Of course.
So a lot of it is just like friendship and being with them, and like, I feel like I have a responsibility now that I know what I know to just tell as many people as I can.
Right.
But anyway, like that, just them like checking in with me, like I still like, it makes me teary eyed. Like I was just like,
that's it just shows
they've been through it.
Yeah. It shows your impact on their lives, And I mean, I said, so
I already said I was going to cry, Joe. And then you're just like, it's like, you're like poking me.
Yeah. I'm like, so let's talk more about this. So I recently, I recently had my last session with my OT, and that broke me.
Yeah,
like this is still fresh. This is within I haven't even missed an appointment yet. You know what I mean? Like our normal Wednesdays.
Yeah,
I haven't even hit, this just happened. So it's still really, really fresh. And like when I say like my heart is broken, my heart's broken. Like I say it like, it's not with sadness because it's like a happy thing.
Yeah.
But like she's meant so, see, now I'm feeling that way. She's meant so much to me. And I know exactly what your patients are feeling and why they did that. Cause I would do the exact same thing.
Well, and from Kaylee's side, like it's like hard. It takes me a while because it's not like when someone breaks their arm. And our medical system, by the way, this is like a whole other conversation, is not built for neuro patients.
No,
like,
not at all. Not at all.
For me, like I had so much pressure to discharge my patients, like, and the ones that I have been able to keep, like, are so precious to me.
Right.
And they've really seen me on a journey, like becoming better because you're constantly like tweaking things and figuring things out.
Right.
But it's hard. Like it's hard when people leave.
And
it's good.
You talk about the system. The system to me, it's getting you healthy enough to go home.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like that's okay.
But once
like,
you're
good.
home,
but once you're home, what do you do?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And then like if you, unfortunately, if you end up in a hospital, it's like, all right, we're either going to cut it out or we're going to drug it out. You know, like there has to be a better system. You know, there has to be, and there has to be better care.
Yes.
Post,
totally.
Like again, I'm so thankful and blessed to had Kaylee.
Yeah.
Because she just went above and beyond. She did stuff that like OTs just don't do.
Yeah.
You know, like she helped me with my PTSD.
Yeah.
And she didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
She like really made it a point of focus during like a lot of our sessions. And I'm like,
well, little OT plug.
Mm-hmm.
OTs are actually really good with psychosocial stuff because we have 3 parts of our education. The first part is like physical disabilities. The second part is all psych. And the third part is like pediatrics and development.
The second part is amazing because I'm fucking crazy. So that was amazing.
I know it. No, but really like, so I think that makes us really suited to disabilities because it's like, what do you find meaningful? How can I get you there?
Right.
And really, really, really person focused.
Right.
And where PTs, I think, really excel, and that why like we have this divide is so dumb, is because PTs are like awesome with some mobilization and like many different things with the body.
Right.
And then OTs have this like psych focus that comes in.
It has to all work together.
Totally.
Like it does. I say it all the time, like in our community, like if we have to work together. We are in this together. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Like we have to do this together.
Yeah.
You know, like if you think about that, it's not just the body, it's the body and the mind. It's not just the mind, it's the mind and the body.
Exactly.
So they work together synergistically, which is, by the way, one of my favorite words. Isn't that a great word?
Me too.
Ooh,
well,
synergy.
Actually I've had patients get really mad at me because I'll be like, I'm all about synergies. So they'll be like, well, what muscle do I have to strengthen? They'll be like, is it like the deltoid? And I'm like, well, our muscles work in synergies and they're coming from the brain. And we are actually like, when you're raising your arm, it's a group of muscles. And like, I go in this whole thing, like I've had one person get like mad, like had to like leave the room. He's like, I don't understand. And I'm like, so mad. And I was just like, okay, let's take a break. You know,
milk was a bad choice.
Exactly.
It's weird because of all this stuff. It's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's all connected. Because I was wondering why. Wow. Why we are the NeuroNerds.
Well, I know you had to bring it back.
I wondered why. I'm like, Kaylee, I'm having trouble like with my grip. But now my elbow, I have tennis elbow. Like, how did I get I don't play tennis. Yeah. And she was explaining, and she was like, you know, this thing isn't working, and then these little bones, and then this, and it works on that muscle, and that muscle is attached to this.
He's pointing to his carpals, y'all.
Yes, I'm pointing to my carpals.
Those are the wrist bones, and the scaphoid is one of them, and it gets nasty after.
Yes,
we had to move it.
Yeah. It was really cool. Like, I was not being treated at all. We were just hanging out.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh
on my wrist.
Joe. That was a secret.
You know what it was? It was self-defense. Like if somebody comes at you, you grab this wrist and you do this.
And you pull those bones apart.
It just so happened to help out my tennis elbow. It was amazing. So like,
oh my God.
Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. As a brain injury or a stroke survivor like myself, it's hard for me to get through reading books due to my injury. But with Audible, I can now enjoy as many books as I want just by listening. Before I started using Audible, I was having trouble reading my brain buddy Mimi Hayes' book, I'll Be Okay, It's Just a Hole in My Head. But once it popped up on Audible, I immediately put it on my wish list. Read Mimi's book with us. That's right, the NeuroNerds are forming a book club. What a great way for our brain injury survivor community to read books together.
And even if you don't want to read the book we're reading, with this free trial, you can select any book of your choice for free. Go to audibletrial.com/theneuronerds.
Boom!
Boom!
So I love your passion. I love what you do for the community.
I just got so red, by the way, because I was talking about like my story and my dad, and now I'm like red.
Well,
Irish.
You're Irish.
No.
You know,
No.
In certain kombuchas, there's a little bit of alcohol.
I know, that's why I like it.
So and Irish people get the big red like a Kennedy face. You know?
No. That's actually more like Asian people, like Filipinos.
They don't have that thing, and then they get flushed.
I get flushed like whenever I'm happy, sad, hungry.
So you're just flushed.
I'm just flushed. Like I don't ever wear blush. This is natural. You're welcome.
So somebody told me so an older Caucasian woman. She's like, you pinch your cheeks.
Oh yeah.
And it's like you'll have rouge all day. She didn't even say blush. She said rouge.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's how old she was.
Nanny used to put her red lipstick on, and then she just like.
Did you say nanny?
Nana. And then she used to just like do her cheekbones like full up with red, and then just like rub it in. It was a look.
Yes. Yeah.
It was a look.
Yeah. Was it good? It was a look. Wasn't the look. It was a look.
It was better when we helped her with her makeup.
Well, see, that's why I go au naturel. No makeup at all. Believe it or not, I look this amazing with no makeup. Yeah. Zero makeup, zero hair.
Really?
You know what it is? Can I tell you what it is? Minimalist.
Do you have to shave your head? Or
I do.
Does it just so like little like stray hairs come out?
Can I tell you what's really awful?
What?
I look so bald when I have hair. Because I have like the crazy receding hairline.
Oh boy.
And I have the monkey butt, which is like the worst. Boy. Like the little baboon's butt. Because no hair grows back here.
Or the friar tuck. Either one.
The friar tuck, yeah. So when I have hair, I look bald. When I shave my head, I just like a dude shaves his head.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I look like right now. Freshly shaven head because I have company.
Okay.
You know, I'm also wearing pants.
That's a good thing.
It is. You know, because normally like Lauren will be sitting across. She's the one with no pants ever.
I believe that.
Seriously.
Also, she's so fit. I've been watching her videos. I'm like, what?
Lauren has the density of a dying star. She is all right. So
explain that.
If you have ever had a Godiva cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory,
okay,
you know, it's like just a super dense chocolate.
Yeah,
that's what Lauren is. You wouldn't know, but she's like
fit. She's strong.
Oh my God, I'm physically afraid of her.
Yeah, I would
like
too.
Your height.
Oh, she's just like, darling, I want to be your best friend.
She would force that on you.
Oh,
she would teach you how to twerk too. She taught me how to twerk.
Oh, can you do it? I doubt that. Yeah. Wait, can we cut out that little scream? That's like totally Jane. Like,
oh yeah. By the way, we're not cutting out that little scream. That's amazing. I love that.
Like when I get excited, what was I just telling you about? Like you sent me, just something about Felice being awesome. And I like screamed into my phone.
She did scream into her phone.
I was like,
Can I tell you, it's also awesome that you asked the guy with a brain injury and short-term memory loss, what was that thing?
Oh, I don't have the excuse of that. But what I do have is that I have kids and I don't sleep a lot.
Yeah, you have mom brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have mom brain.
And that lasts forever.
You have adorable children, by the way.
Oh my God.
Augie, there's like that kid.
I don't know where they came from. They're seriously so cute.
Hey, you're adorable. Well, your husband, very attractive man.
That's what I was fishing for. And I'm glad you caught on my bait, because if you didn't, I would leave right now.
Yeah.
I was waiting for a compliment.
Yeah, you would
a while.
You would stick Lauren on me. Insert Lauren kick noise here.
Exactly.
So Og is adorable, and George needs to be on cans of baby food.
I know.
Like he's how old are the kids?
Augie's 3-something. I stopped counting, and then George is like 20 months. But I keep forgetting. Like I go to the pediatrician, they're like, oh, like he's this many months. I'm like, the second one. I don't know.
Just years.
Yeah.
Is he a year yet now?
2.
Is he almost 2? That's
he's
good.
Almost 2. But George, like, he has a real raspy voice.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like he smokes like a pack a day. So he's like, Ma, Baba, Ma, Baba, Adi.
So you gave birth to an 85-year-old man.
Yeah,
is that what you're
basically. Saying? And he's got like this big tummy, and he just like walks around like he owns everything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like a little mafia don.
Is that Ron Swanson?
It is Ron Swanson. That's Felice's Ron Swanson.
Oh, Felice.
Yeah.
She did
Felice
it again.
So we have Funko Pops over here in the temporary studio. We have a Tiny Rick, a Louise from Bob's Burgers, Ron Swanson, the Hulk, and I don't know, some other ones. Those are the other important ones.
Wait, Bob's Burgers, like the restaurant?
The cartoon?
Oh, I don't know.
Is there a Bob's Burger restaurant?
I thought so. Don't they have burritos?
Wait, what?
Go on.
Wait, is it? There's Bob's Big Boy.
Yes, they have amazing hangover breakfast burritos.
Oh,
they're actually life-changing.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I used to live in LA. I know stuff.
Yeah. Oh, wait, where do you live now?
I live in San Luis Obispo, the most beautiful place in the world. No, it really is.
Is it really?
Have you been there?
I have. Back in the day, my friend went to San Luis Obispo, the
Cal Poly?
Yeah, Cal Poly.
Yeah.
Cal Poly Pomona.
No, Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo.
That one. So like I would park his car.
Okay.
Because he was like, parking is just too much. He's like, can you come to school with me for like an hour? So I would like literally just hang out in his car for an hour and look for parking spaces while he went to class.
Yeah. No.
Joe's a good friend.
You are a good friend.
Thank you to our amazing community on Patreon for supporting this podcast.
You can support us too and get different perks and gifts depending on which Neuro Jedi tier you sign up for. For example, if you're on our Neuro Padawan $5 tier, then you're probably listening to this episode a day early before its public release.
Your support helps us grow and continue to create this podcast. Plus, a portion of the proceeds go to a different cause or individual in the brain injury survivor community each month. Sign up at patreon.com/the NeuroNerds. So where did your helpful nature come from? Because you're so passionate, and I know you come from a family of doctors, but you're so passionate about helping people. And I understand your father had a heart attack and he had a stroke. That was after you were already on your way to doing this thing to help people. You were already passionate.
I feel like it just made it more like, okay, how can I help more people? Like, I think just, I don't know, wanting to be an OT I always wanted to do something in the service like area. But I was actually an English major. So
really?
Yeah.
That's a language I can hardly speak.
I know. We've really talked about this. But so I just like writing and reading but I always like wanted to do something that just was with people. I love being with people, and that's where it came from.
Amazing.
But I don't know. I don't know. I have to think about that.
Have you always been a helpful person?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you like in school? It's like, oh, I have an extra pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. I love making friends. And I'm like I have like this great friend, Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca.
What's up, Becca? Becky? Becca? What is she?
No, she's Rebecca or Reb or Beck.
No, I'm not doing any of those. Becky, you're Becky.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, she's like one of my best friends from high school. And she was like, you just came up and you're like, I'm Jane Desmond, be my friend. And like, that really was how I was. You
know, what's funny? That's kind of how we came to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except it was you.
Did I reach out to you?
Oh, maybe it was me.
I think you reached out to, you know what?
Hilarious.
I honestly, so what's really funny is 9 out of 10 people that I converse with on a regular basis, which is a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm at a certain point in these friendships or these building relationships where I'm like, how did we meet? Because we just talk every day now.
Yeah.
And we just like, we're buddies, we're friends, we're more than just acquaintances.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, how did we meet? And I literally have to, like, most of this is like people from like around the world. So I'm like scouring through our conversation.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I reached out to you months ago.
Okay.
I'm a psychopath.
No, you are, because I think this is how I remember it. But so I've only been online with Heal the Brain with Jane for like 7 months. Mm-hmm. And it's just been growing really fast. And I'm like, what the heck? But a lot of that's because of you, because seriously, because you would be like, follow Jane. And I'm like, oh my God, I just got 100 followers. What just happened?
Well, Jane's dope.
But, well, same to you, friend. But I got...
if it was same, it was like, yes, Jane is dope.
Okay, anyway, we're so nerdy. I love it. But you sent me, what title. I remember is like, I just was starting out and starting to do like little weird videos and stuff. And you were like, hey, this is really cool or whatever.
Oh shit, I think that's right.
Yeah. And then I was like, cool. Like, I like your page. Like, that's so cool what you're doing. And then you're like, cool, here's my number. Like literally so forward. And I was like, whoa, I like this guy. Hey, and that's how it started.
Hey, man, I almost died. I ain't got time to play around.
No, I love it. Cut the bullshit. Actually, that is one of the things that's so cool about this community is that there's so much authenticity.
Yes.
And that is one thing that I love. I love about the people I work with. There's no pretense.
No.
If you've had a disability in any way, you can't be like a dick.
Right. Well, you can be.
I guess you can, but that has to be who you are, like authentically.
Right.
Like you are authentically a bad person.
Right.
And that's who you are.
This, like, whatever it is, this is our X gene.
Yeah.
This is like our evolution. You know, we
Yeah.
kind of become the people that we were meant to be. Some people, you were unfortunately meant to be a dick, and I'm so sorry.
Sorry for you.
Some people were meant to be bitter and angry, and that sucks for you too. Some people take what happened to us and run with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, all that other stuff that happened before this, none of that mattered.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What matters is that I'm here now. I made it. I survived. I'm here to live. You know what I mean? And I think I've always been a helper, not unlike you. And all I want to do is help my community.
Except you need to sleep more.
Yeah, I know. I get yelled. Look, it's another OT that's yelling at me.
Kaylee, I'm on your team.
She's
messed up.
also yelling at me to take a bath. And I'm like, I don't want to stew in my own filth.
Oh, but baths are so good.
They're
Epsom
not.
salts?
I took an Epsom salt bath once, and like the water was way too hot and it spiked my blood pressure.
Oh.
Yeah, that was really, really bad.
Well, why did you make it so hot?
I'm not very bright. I don't know if you caught that by now.
No, I just think you're like willfully like, I'm going to do what I want.
Yeah, I don't like baths. It's, you know what, can I tell you, it's boring.
Okay, but you can totally get one of those things like those boards that go across the bath and put your books on it and like a candle.
I think I just want to lay there and be like, this is enough. It's time to get out.
Yeah, well, just do it a little bit because Epsom salt, I'm just going to tell you, tons of magnesium, really good for sore muscles, for tightness, which post brain injury, everyone's super tight. I'm always telling people if they have the ability to get in and out of a bath easily, safely, to take baths. Yeah,
it's just
good.
So boring.
Well, you need to put on like a meditation app or something.
I meditate every day.
You?
I basically meditated every day since I've been out of the hospital.
What?
And prior
That's
to
amazing.
being in the hospital, I couldn't even meditate for 2 minutes. Like I couldn't. My mind would go to, again, recovering Catholic, I would go to like really, really dark places.
Yeah.
And now I've retrained my brain.
Good.
Oh, like Ella Sophia says.
Oh, yeah, go girl.
These are my new habits from my habit coach.
Yeah.
But like you can actually retrain your brain.
You totally can. Neuroplasticity, y'all.
Yeah, which is crazy. I don't
So
think
crazy.
the same way. I fundamentally have changed everything.
Yeah.
And the way that like my thought process is different. I'm actually like, oh wow, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm positive. This is awesome. And it feels good. Like I know it sounds weird, but like doesn't it feel better to feel good than feel bad?
Yes.
So like why do we always want to feel bad?
Well, I think anxiety is, and like feeling bad, especially post brain injury, is a really normal mechanism to protect yourself because it was so scary.
That's actually a really good question. As an OT, what's your advice to somebody who comes in super anxious, super depressed, super, this all sucks. I don't want to do this anymore. I give up. Like, how do you deal with that?
Well, it usually takes some time because there's like a couple things. First, they have to get to know me. They have to buy in that like I'm going to be there with them. Because one of the things that's really tough about our current system is that sometimes by the time a survivor gets to me, they've already been through the hospital and they've been to inpatient rehab. Depending on the experience that they've had,
They could be scarred.
they could
already.
right. They could be really struggling. And it really depends. It's so much like I look at it as like a real holistic model. So like, is their family on board? What's going on with all of that? Like it really takes me a while to sink my teeth in. But mostly what I do is I will just sit with them, validate their feelings, and then normalize them because it is normal, because you've been through something crazy. And then really talk about like for them, what is going to get them to a place where they can really believe that they can get better. Because actually, like I've talked to Dr. Sullivan about this. Karen, you're so awesome. I love you so much.
She
I care
cares
for your
for our brain.
She so does. Like it's one piece of education or one piece of understanding that someone gets, and that changes the course of their recovery.
Right.
So if you are so closed down, so depressed, and so not open to newness, like if you've learned, neurologists are so awesome. We need them. They do great work. Some of them are autistic.
It's seriously.
And like some of them just are not good at talking to people.
No, socially awkward.
So yeah. So if you if you are of the medical model where you're like, okay, the doctor told me that I'm going to not get better, that's really hard to overcome. And I've had many patients that I'm really proud because I just kept challenging that.
Right.
Because I was like, well, this is what we know. Because right now is like the brain is so hot right now. It's so Mugatu. It is like Zoolander amazing.
I had that sexy injury.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like Hansel. I'm so hot right now.
You're so hot right now. Because neuroplasticity is, I mean, in the last 50 years, our understanding of the brain is growing, but it's still like a gray area.
Right.
No pun intended or pun intended.
You're right. The brain is still like understanding of it is still in its infancy.
Yeah.
There's still so much to learn.
Yeah.
And speaking of neurologists and doctors who are like, oh yeah, well you have this window, and after this window, that's just what it is.
And that's been totally refuted so many times.
You know, hey, youngins, cover your ears. Fuck that.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen miracles.
Yeah.
No, they're not miracles. It's just normal everyday things. It will be in the future, but like current miracles where it's like, they say after 6 months, right? Is it 6 months?
They say, okay, so there's neurologists say a bunch of stuff. So like after 3 months, and it's not just neurologists. I love you, neurologists. Keep sending me referrals. There's like good stuff. So 3 months is the penumbra. So that's when your brain is still really swollen.
Right.
Okay. So there is like a ton of recovery that happens as your brain like starts to slowly not swell. But we also know that the brain can be swollen for up to 2 years. So some neurologists now will say like, well, that's going to be your healing. But the current brain research by neuroscientists is that we heal from the cradle to the grave. Like there's no way that you can. That's why people who go deaf like late in life, maybe like I'm saying late like 30s, which is not late, but they can relearn how to speak with their hands.
Right. Because
the brain just literally reattaches to another place, or those synapses, they heal. It's actually like when you really understand that and it soaks into you, it's like, wow. And the cool thing is that we don't have a ton of research on that. We have a ton of research on like the actual brain, like what's happening. But in terms of physical rehabilitation, we're just starting to research that stuff.
Right.
You know, but what I have is all this qualitative knowledge, meaning like I've worked with all these people who get better. I mean, 4 and 5 years out.
Amazing.
It's
right?
insane.
But no, it's within that first year. If you didn't have it, it's just not going to happen. Look at Kyle from Stroke of Genius. Kyle was doing that study where they had the thing that would look
the electrodes in his brain. Yeah.
He started moving his hand
and
his arm. He had a stroke when he
was 11.
Yeah, he just celebrated his 20-year stroke anniversary.
Yeah,
that's a lot further away from 1 year. So I don't want to hear this shit that like these windows that doctors put on patients. It's not okay, because I've had several people tell me, well, no, it's over for me. It's been 2 years.
Oh, I have to deal with that like wall so often. One thing I do think is that there is this element of like that doctors and even therapists, because therapists do it sometimes too. Like especially like an ortho-based therapist who's like, you're not going to improve in 6 weeks. That's true. You're improving, but it's slow and monotonous. But like I do think that they don't want to set people up for failure. But I think that they do.
They do though. I think it's worse what they do.
Listen, Joe,
because you give people.
I still work with neurologists, and they're gonna not like me anymore.
That's okay. You're so that's Jane the professional. Jane the person. I know it'd probably be a different conversation. This is Joe the Joe.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're hurting people that way because people need hope.
Yeah. No, I agree.
If you don't have hope, if hope wasn't a thing, I wouldn't be doing this today.
Well, the crazy thing is, Joe, is people associate hope with like fairyland, like it's terrible. But the thing is, like, I love really getting like when people buy in to what I'm saying, because I'm like, I will give them examples. I'll be like, you could not walk when you came in here, and now it's 3 months later and you're standing with me and we're dancing. because I like to dance during my sessions because actually music is amazing for the brain.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So like all your brain works more listening to music than with anything else. So I always have music on in my sessions.
Tupac, I get it.
I mean, right? But anyway, West Coast. But anyway, yeah, I forgot what I was saying. I don't have a brain injury. That just like made me so happy that we just did that.
By the way, Jane, I think you're amazing. Like, I really do. I was like, you know what? I think this is going to be fun. This is more than fun.
I know. We're having a blast.
Well, it is because again, like all of the NeuroNerd interviews were very conversational.
Yeah.
Like, we're very personable people, I think. Also, it's just very educational. Like, this is like valuable information, you know?
Good.
And this is coming from an OT, somebody who works in the medical field. Hope is always there. You always have hope. Always.
Yeah.
You know, don't let anyone tell you no.
Yeah.
Magical, beautiful things happen when you say, oh, you say no? Okay, cool. Hold my beer. Watch this.
Well, and I think that's what I was going to say is that like for those people where hope is hard to hold on to, really just giving them evidence and saying like, look, like neuroplasticity is real. So if you want to tune into that, do it. But if you don't want to, and you've decided that you'd like to use your less affected arm, and that's going to become your dominant arm, then just make that decision knowing that there was another option.
Right.
You know, because like for some, I've really learned because I came out, oh my gosh, I was just like, as a new therapist, like just so gnarly. And I've actually chilled out a little bit. Like I was like,
wait, this is you chilled?
Yeah. No, because I would be like, you have to do it this way. And neurodevelopmental treatment is like a cult a little bit. Like it's like, yes, like you have to do. And I've really mellowed a little bit with that.
If you enjoy listening to this podcast, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on the Apple Podcast app. Your reviews help us grow and reach more listeners like you.
Find us by searching for the NeuroNerds on the Apple Podcast app today. We're all individuals. We all learn differently. Our bodies, we can have the exact same thing. Because I've met several people who have the exact same stroke that I had, reasonably close to the same age, same build, same everything.
Totally presents different.
Completely, a lot of them not as functional as me. That's where I feel blessed. You know, I mean, percentages say I shouldn't be here, and I absolutely shouldn't be as functional as I am.
I know. Well, what I didn't want to say it when you walked up to the car, but I was like, whoa. You don't have any gait problems. I was like, that's amazing.
Oh yeah. Joe's kind of killing it. No. So yeah. And again, so I get this. I just met with a stroke survivor and her Instagram name is, but you look so normal.
Oh, I follow her.
Yeah. Car's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And her dude, I was like, oh, he's a normie. She's like, no, he had chunks of his brain taken out with this thing. And like, oh
my gosh, amazing.
They're like this beautiful, like brain injured couple, but you look so normal is the problem. It's one of the biggest problems for us survivors, us brain injury survivors, because okay, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean? I am normal. I just don't look normal. I am normal. It's a new normal, but it's normal nonetheless.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like somebody who has no feeling on one of their sides. Right. Somebody's in a wheelchair. Right. Somebody who has a cane. We're all normal. It's just different versions of normal.
Well, and I mean, that's a huge barrier. And then there's a lot of body image things that make it really hard, like post brain injury, like with my people who do have like problems with their hand not opening or gait, or like where they do the pimp in gait. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Like, and they're just swinging their leg out, and which makes me insane. I like always go and fix it. Oh yeah, no. Like when I'm in the clinic, I'm so crazy, like in a good way. I think.
Jane, really?
Yeah.
So
I'm like, hey, like I'm like a sadist, like an OT sadist.
Oh
like they try to open the door with their like less affected hand, and I'll be like, no.
Well, no, that's the tough love that's needed.
We just worked for an hour on that hand. You better open that door with your right hand, or your left hand.
That's what's needed. Yeah. Though, you know, because like it's you're like a really good coach.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I'm just trying to get the best out of you.
That's what we have these conversations. But luckily, like, I don't know why I get people that I've been so blessed. Like, honestly, the people that I've gotten to work with have changed my life and changed my heart.
I'm pretty sure it was the other way around.
No, it's so mutual. Talk to Kaylee about this. Like, this.
No, Connely hates everybody except me.
Oh, okay. I love her. No, but like this community, like the people, it's such a like mutual, symbiotic, synergistic relationship. Like you show up, and if they show up, it's like, yes.
Right.
Like, but really they've changed my heart. Like I just had so many beautiful moments and a lot of like tears. Like when people leave me, I cry. I really do. Like
that shows the effect that you're having on, it's not just you, like the effect that you're having on them. Imagine what they're feeling. You know what I mean? Like you're changing lives.
Well, they changed. I accept that to a point because they changed my life.
No. Why are okay? This is why I fuck with you, Jane. Why are we like that?
What? No.
You know
I'm accepting it. No, I'm taking the comp.
No. You're not. You're deflecting it completely. Completely. You just jode the fuck out of that right now. Where it's like, no.
It feels uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable because it's like, because really, literally, like, I know, like, they're coming in and giving me so much of themselves.
Cool. I wish you would do that to them.
Oh, no, I do.
Well,
they know all about my life. Yeah. It's inappropriate at times. I was 9 months pregnant with George and still like crawling up on my mat, like that's off the ground. And like, I literally would have, please don't do it, Jane, please. And I'm like, I'm going to stretch that scapula, like get out of, and like my belly was like getting in the way of me like working with my arms. Like it was out of control. You're
just going for like OT of the year.
Yeah, but like from who? Like what's
the world?
The world.
Wait, can I tell you from who? Every single person that you've dealt with.
Yeah,
I said this to
but you know what?
woman.
If I really don't like them now, like if they're really just like a mean person, I have gotten to the point where I'm like, you can see someone else. Like I used to be like, I'm gonna work you until
No, people are people. And most people are dicks.
But like, of course, within reason, like to make sure that they do have someone who's skilled who can work with them. But like, I have had like a couple people.
As an OT, you have to do A, B, and C, right?
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
Do A, B, and C.
Yeah.
With your other patients who are super passionate and caring and loving,
they get
you go
text
A, B,
messages.
C, D, E, F, G. That's who you go above and beyond with.
Yeah.
You do your job with those people.
Yeah.
With the other people, you give yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to give yourself to everybody.
That's like a huge learning thing. But you know what's been cool is my mother-in-law and my husband are therapists. They're like psychological therapists.
Oh, brilliant.
So
is this why you're so well adjusted?
No, totally. Because I will come home and they'll be like, well, that really seems like that person's not ready to change or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, why am I beating my head against the wall? Because there are people that, give in to the victimhood and you did go through something terrible and you need to go through that. So I just give people time and space for that.
Right.
But
you don't have to be a part of that journey though.
I don't.
Right.
I don't. But that took me a while to learn. I mean, I'm a young, ferocious lady.
You're a helper. You're a helper. I'm a helper too. And I have but my thing has been different. My thing is like, I was a passenger in other people's lives because I was miserable with my own. Now I'm like, no, things are good. I lived. I'm passionate about like being good for me. Like, I don't want to help you if I'm miserable. I have to be good before I can help you, you know?
Well, that's the whole thing. I actually think motherhood too helped me with like being really, really like careful about the energy that I give because I'm giving a lot in my work and I love it. But I also need to come home to my boys and be like a fun mom and
those
sometimes
beautiful children that need to be in photos. You know, like when you buy
and my husband.
Your husband is a very attractive man. So like you know those frames that you just buy at stores and there's like kids in it. Like those are your kids. They're like those adorable kids that come in frames.
Honestly, I'm so glad they turned out so cute because I probably wouldn't notice if they were ugly. Like
they're your children.
They're my children, but like I'm like acutely aware that they're cute. You know? And it's like, wow, that's awesome.
You're like, yeah. I did that.
Exactly.
Like you take pride in that. Like just like when you see like one of your OT like walk out, I made that happen. See how functional? That was all me.
Exactly.
Just be arrogant. Own it.
Exactly. I will. So it's weird because I do have like this, and you have this too, where like I think we're like really confident. And it's like, where does that come from? But when someone's giving me like a compliment that really gets my like soul, I'm like, I can't, you know, like, cause that's like deep. Like
I'm the most arrogant, humble person ever.
Yeah.
Because like I joke all the time, but like, I don't want any praise. I don't like everything.
It's just uncomfortable.
It is. There was a really good friend of the show. I don't want to like call anybody out or anything.
Yeah.
Like that, just because people get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But he reached out for me from the UK and he was like, thank you for doing this, blah, blah. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. You're the amazing one. And then like, I'm like following like his journey. I'm like, oh my God, like this dude is like inspiring me.
But I think it must be, so I'm a huge fan of Brene Brown. Mm-hmm. Do you know her?
No.
Oh God. I'm going to put her up on my website as like, these are things to read. She's a sociologist, sociologist. I think so. Anyway.
We should get along.
She's a social worker.
Oh, because I'm a sociopath. So I mean, like we should get along, right?
True. But anyway, she works in Texas, mm-hmm. and she did a TED Talk, and she went out and talked about trust and vulnerability. And one of the things that she says is like, if you're not okay, I think this is kind of true with our compliment problem. If you're not okay with receiving help, then you're not really that good at giving help.
That's pretty good.
It's actually like a feedback loop.
Right.
And that has really helped me. And like, it really helped me like as being a young mom and in this career and stuff. Just being like, receiving help from the people that I need it from my friends and from my community, like that makes me better at giving help.
It's hard to ask for help though.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but not any, I've really like, now I'm just, I'm like, help me.
Yeah. Why not? Why not though? Like, so here's the thing. Hey, can you help me with this? Oh, I can't. Okay, cool. That's it.
Oh yeah, totally.
That's literally it. That's
the worst that can
thing.
Happen.
Nobody's going to be like, how dare you ask me for help?
No.
You infant. It's not going to be that.
Yeah.
We're all grown ass people.
Yeah.
We're all like, if you're dealing with somebody who's going to react that way, you really need to reevaluate how you make friends.
So Joe, I think that's us with compliments. Like,
yeah, why are we that way?
No, but listen, this is because I give compliments really freely, mm-hmm. and I'm really good at someone to flex. Like I like know how to get that in there. Like I'm like, you're going to take it.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm going to come in with Tumbo. No shots getting by me.
Right. But like, so that's something that I like will work on because, I'm really proud of the work that I've done. It's
right. You've
awesome.
Changed. You've literally changed lives for the better.
And so have you.
I think I did all right.
Try again. Literally when I'm with my patients too. Mm-hmm. And I go back and forth calling people patients and clients. Right. I have such a hard time with that because you
can mix it together. Clients.
Right? I love it.
Because
this is the problem. Like the medical model is hard because client or patient kind of like means that you're just there. And it's sort of like, you're not as active. It's not an active relationship. Whereas clients
business.
It also like connotates that you have a place in it. Cause like if you're coming in and ready to change, ready to do the work, you're going to do well. But patients who are just laying there and it's like just waiting for someone to give me a shot.
I never really thought different. Of it that way.
But I'm also like not a Pilates instructor. Mm-hmm. Like I've gone to school and like really worked on it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I struggle with that.
Yeah, like, you know what? You should come up with like a new name. Just figure out like something that would work for that. Like it would make you feel comfortable because I get that. Only if it's warrior queen, even for the dudes.
Oh yes,
even for the dudes. I wouldn't mind being a warrior queen
with a K.
Queen with a K.
KWEEN.
No, with the W. Right. Queen. Yeah, I want to be a warrior queen.
Yeah.
Thanks to our sponsor, Avid Technology, for providing us with the tools, or should I say, pro tools, to record, edit, and mix our podcast and get our message out clearly to the world.
Try Avid first to start recording today for free at avid.com/pro-tools.
Yay. No, like being a helper, it's good, but we also have to accept the return of the comment. I'm not very good at that. Like I like divvying them out. I like making people feel good. And then that's just it. Like I had no part of that. Just go live your life. And that's good enough.
Yeah.
Right.
But the thing is, like, I think the whole message is that the more that you're able to, and I am like living proof of that. Like, I think I'm like a better person because I am really open to receiving help. Mm-hmm. And
I'm also a terrible gift receiver.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, I've worked on that. I love gifts. So it's one of my love languages. Do you do love languages?
I don't know what that means.
Oh, okay. There's a book called, I'm really into self-help. I don't know if you know this. There's a book called The 5 Love Languages. Mm-hmm. And it's like receiving gifts, like acts of service, words of affirmation, which is mine, like 90% mine, touch, and like something else.
I don't like to be touched.
You don't?
No.
Interesting.
I don't like to be touched by anybody other than my girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't.
That's probably best.
I don't give massages.
My husband hates massages too.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I like them. I just want my girlfriend to do it.
Okay.
I had like one massage in my life. We went to Thailand.
Yeah.
And basically, I paid a heavyset Thai woman to beat the crap out of me for an hour.
Well, that may be why you don't like it.
No, it was before then. Like that was a big deal where I'm like, I'm here. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And then like halfway through, I want to be bend it and
Thai
turn it into a pretzel.
massages are really gnarly. Like one time I got a Groupon to go to a Thai massage in Silver Lake, and I should have known because Silver Lake and Thai massage, like, okay, like I get in there and it is this like Thai guy, and they like moved my legs and arms in way like I was so concerned that I was going to have a spinal cord injury.
I had the same.
I was like, I'm going to have a spinal cord injury.
I was looking at the woman. I was like, my leg doesn't bend that way. And she looked at me and laughed and proceeded
and
to
still
bend
did
me.
it. Yeah. Sure. But also that's kind of how I work like too. Like if someone's got like a problem with their wrist and they're like, it doesn't do that. I'm like, let me show you.
Yeah. Hold my beer. Watch
this. Exactly.
That's really funny. I don't know. I don't like to be touched.
I feel like I'm sharing too much of my personality here. I'm scared.
Why is that a bad thing?
Joe, I am a professional. Okay.
You know, can I tell you what's funny?
What?
Dr. Karen.
Yeah.
Right. So she was on, and I remember
I love her. She's my best friend.
After the episode came out, and she was like, I think I might have been a little bit too casual. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
For me, what I think now again, it does.
Okay, but we're deeply entrenched in the medical model.
No, it's very true. But there has to be a balance. We have to bridge that gap. You guys are not. You guys are on pedestals, but in a completely different way. Right. Because you are amazing people and great at what you do. It shouldn't just be because, oh, you're like this entity. You're a human being.
Right. No, I agree with you. I know she does too.
Yeah, I had a thing in a hospital like a long time ago, and the doctor like made kind of like a joke thing, and he was like, "I'm so sorry," and like he got really panicky, like, "Don't sue me." And I'm like, "Doc, no.
Yeah,
I am so much more comfortable now because you're not a robot.
Right.
You're a human being,
right?
You know." And I think the more personality you show, the easier it is for your client, patient, queens.
Yes, right? Warrior queen.
You know, like if you're
it is
regular people, it's so much easier to deal with. Open up and share.
That is one great thing about like being an OT is that like that is part of like therapeutic use of self. Like using your personality is a big thing,
right?
You know, so that's been really fun for me because I do think like my patients know me. Like I stay friends with them, like, and we go have margaritas and stuff.
That's awesome.
You know, and
that's
I'm like,
awesome.
Watch your balance, girl.
right. Is that the deficit or are you drunk?
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? No, but I agree with you. Like, but it's funny because like if I were going to go talk to a doctor, I totally put on this like,
well, you have to
Jane OT thing. Right. That's like, all right, he's got a subanachroid hemorrhage and we've got these deficits and you can't feel this. And
the doctor would be like, oh shit, that was Miss Connely, right?
Yeah.
That's not Jane.
Yeah. No, but it's still Jane. I'm always Jane with everyone.
Are you?
Yeah. I love my name.
It's a cool name.
It is.
You know?
Maroon 5 in high school.
No.
Come on. They had a whole CD on songs about Jane.
Oh, that's right.
And that was before like things changed, you know?
Before you got all the tattoos and
he's still beautiful. I'm sorry.
He's a very attractive man. I'm not gonna lie. Hey,
very attractive.
Joe has eyes.
Hello.
No, I really like how personable you are because you're not like neurologists.
No.
Yeah, they're all not all.
No. Honestly, I've met like 3 neurologists who are just awesome people and who are smart and well-adjusted.
And she knows all of them. There's only 3 that are smart.
Okay, well.
Felice had an amazing story when I was in the hospital. I had the shunt put in my head. And they were talking about me having a permanent shunt. If the brain, the swelling didn't stop.
Yeah.
They did a thing. So she was... The neurologist, like the next day after the swelling went down, he was like, so swelling went down, he doesn't have to have a permanent shunt. Felice just broke down and started crying.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, emotion. I don't really know what to do. And he was like, do you need a shunt? Like he made a joke.
Oh.
And she was like, it was so awkward, but it was like perfect in that moment.
Perfect.
Yeah, he was so awkward.
Okay.
I met him. He was no help to me at all. I was like, thank you so much for saving my life. I never want to see your face again.
Oh, sad.
Well, I had bad interactions with doctors at the hospital.
Yeah.
Like they just kept on, oh no, go talk to that. So like they convinced me that all my questions were going to be answered talking to my neurosurgeon.
Yeah.
So I talked to my neurosurgeon and he was like, why are you asking me this? He's like, your doctor, your regular doctor
needs to tell you that.
I was like, he told me to come to you. And he was like, he literally, it was almost condescending, but he was like, I deal with the brain.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a waste of time.
No, it's really tough. Like I do get people who are like, haven't had, I mean, and this is like, I don't know too, like you're so overwhelmed when you're in the hospital. I don't know if you just can't hear it too. Like not for you, but like for some people. But I think there's a couple of things like when you're young too, they're just like, oh, you'll be fine.
Right.
And so that's troubling. And then, and then there's just so much information coming at you. Like I just remember my mom, who's like the brightest woman I know. She's a lawyer. She's just like, she was like, what does this mean?
You grew up in the Brady Bunch household, by the way.
Oh my God. Crazy. I would be Jan.
Are you just saying that because you're Jane?
Yeah.
You want to be Marshall? All right. So with Heal the Brain with Jane.
Yeah.
I love that, by the way. It's one of my favorite things. Let's tell the people what Heal the Brain with Jane is.
It's just a format. It's a community where people can come and get good brain information because there's a lot out there, but not always from somebody who's studied it for a long time or works within like brain health. So it's just a place where people can come and hopefully I can give you some good education and motivation and hope, because really that is one of the biggest parts of your recovery is like that you buy into the fact that you can recover.
You can.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just like whenever I do anything like that, where it's like, tag someone who's like been a light for you or something. It's always like 300 people and like 100 of those you have done, which I love. But
every time I do that, I was like, I gotta stop. I gotta stop.
I can just see him like, and like it comes up, it's like typing. Joe's still typing. No, but I mean, and it's still like evolving. Like I'm still figuring out what Heal the Brain with Jane is gonna do. But like eventually, I want to do retreats and just a place for people to go where they're like, okay, first of all, this happened. I'm gonna process that. Second of all, there's real concrete things for me to do. Because there is.
You're bringing education that I think is really, really needed to people. And it's in a lot like Dr. Sullivan's stroke guide.
Oh, it's such. Can I just plug that really quick? That's amazing.
It really is.
I've had like 4 of my former patients and current patients buy that. And like, that's like I have everybody that I see. I'm like, there's also this great book.
It's if I had it early on in recovery,
God,
recovery would have been a lot easier.
I don't think that people understand that book should be like $100 because I don't think people understand how good it is.
Oh, do you know how I describe it?
How?
It's highlights magazines for stroke survivors.
For real.
Do you remember the highlights magazines?
Do I? Yes. And when I mean for people, that's just the people that like I could like buy it for. Everyone else I had to buy their own.
So the way you let information out, digestible, just like the stroke guide.
That's what okay, that's good. That's what I need. That's my elevator pitch. Thank you. Because I don't know, it's just like it's become such a baby to me. Mm-hmm. Like I'm just like so passionate, for lack of a better word, but I just love it so much.
Right.
And, but it's like all this stuff that I talk about for 8 hours a day. How do I make it? So now I've really have like condensed things that I can say, this is what weight bearing is. This is why it's important.
Right. Well, what's good about the way that you do it, just like Dr. Sullivan, is you don't dumb it down.
No, it's still smart.
These are high concept things. These are very intellectual thoughts and this, but you don't dumb it down, but it's very easy to take in.
That's what I want.
Which is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot easier for us stroke survivors because we all have brain injuries.
You know what? I work in that every day. I love it.
So, I mean, if you need that information, you go to Jane, you go to Dr. Sullivan, because honestly, you two, to me, are like tops in our community right now.
Just being included with Karen makes me like, I don't know.
She's amazing.
Amazing.
Like she's
my mentor. And like last time we got off the phone, I was like, okay, can I just tell you that I love you? Is that okay?
And she was like,
Literally.
absolutely not.
No, she was so funny. She's like, oh yeah, no, it's okay. I love you too. I was like,
she's like, I love you too. This isn't awkward at all.
Oh my God. It was we're FaceTiming and like, she's just awesome. And like, sometimes she'll just send me random pictures of her with like a White Claw. Just like White Claw's like that. It's like an alcoholic. Like,
it's like the La Croix, but with alcohol
in it.
Right.
Yeah. And it just makes my heart explode. Like I'm so, yeah. So just including me in that category makes me very happy.
Yeah, no, you both of you are, like, I say it and I mean it. The community needs more of you than it needs more of me. We don't need any more stroke survivors.
I know. We need to cut down on that.
We do need more advocates, more stroke advocates. Like, we have to be our own advocates, but there's a lot of us out there that just don't have that voice.
Oh, you know what I was just thinking, Joe? Something I've really thought about.
Mm-hmm.
I think the real focus of Heal the Brain with Jane is that, like, I kind of said this before, but really what separates the like victims from the survivors or the thrivers
mm-hmm.
is those people who just have like one piece of education. I said this before,
mm-hmm.
but it's really just one thing.
Right.
It's like understanding neuroplasticity. It's understanding where your stroke was. It's one thing. And then they're off. And like, that's what I want. Like, it's like one tiny nugget.
Right.
It's so crazy, but it's so true.
Did
I say that before? I did, I think. But I don't know. It just like, I wanted to say it. Like,
you could say really it 3 more times. I had a brain injury and short-term memory loss. It's like, oh, this is amazing new information.
No, honestly, that's why I like working with this population, because I repeat myself like a ton.
Well, no, that's awful, but that's amazing.
No, it is actually, I do it now like habitually because people don't remember.
You have to.
So you have to, like, I'll be like, and then remember you're going to put your hand down.
Oh my
and
God,
then we do it again. And then and then as people get better, they're like, Jane, you said that 3 times. I'm like, I've been doing that for 2 years.
Yes.
Like,
it's weird. It's really weird. I even have, in my phone, I have, alarms.
Oh yeah. Great.
I'll forget the alarms. I'll be like, oh yeah, I have to do that. And completely it's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. So like, I've actually tried to do a little string on my pinky
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, why do I have the string on my pinky? I won't even remember.
Yeah.
I've gotten better though.
There's a lot of good tricks with that though.
With the string?
No, well, strings can be one, bracelets. What else? Oh, sticky notes throughout the house.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to have the first sticky note, then a phone alarm, then a string.
Yeah,
it's got to be like a 3-pronged approach.
Yeah,
I've played with a lot of those.
Who's been very helpful? Ella.
Oh, good.
Ella and retraining the brain.
Yeah.
It's so, like, she was like, well, I don't think it's very like brain injured centric. I was like, I don't think her course is,
mm-hmm.
but it's so helpful. There's 2 or 3 things in there, especially with the habits that have been incredibly helpful to me.
Good.
You know? Like, even in conversations, just saying, okay, there's 3 things. Boom, boom, boom. Because 3 things are easier to remember than 18.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And normally in a normal dialogue, in a normal conversation, your bullet points, it's only 2-3 things. Yeah. That's all you really need to remember. And if you remember the other stuff, all right, good. If not, they weren't the bullet points.
Yeah. You don't.
Just extra stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
What advice would you have to a caregiver out there?
Oh gosh. Self-care. For
caregivers.
Yeah. Like, you need to take care of yourself. And this journey, as much as you're on it with your loved one, it is their journey. And if you take it away from them, then they don't get better. So don't take on their stuff, because if you take on all of their hardships, then you also take their triumphs, and they need to have their triumphs.
Yeah, you're killing it.
I'm sorry.
That really might be the best answer ever to that question.
It's like so true.
That's great. Is there one thing in particular that you see with survivor after survivor after survivor? You're like, I wish they wouldn't do that, or I wish they would do that. Whatever it is.
There's such a focus on when I get better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, when I get better, and it makes me insane. And I wish that there was just a focus on what has gotten better.
I like that.
Like, what has gotten better. And actually, like, I do have these little change PDFs, ebooks online. And I wish people, like, now I am just starting to give those to my patients right away. What do you think about change? What do you think about where you've been? How do you develop a goal? Because if I'm developing your goal, it's not going to, like, it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
You have to develop your own goals, and they can be something stupid, like, it's stupid. I'm doing bunny quotes, like, stupid, like, meaning like, I want to go walk on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
That's not stupid. That's awesome.
No,
but that is
an
like
amazing goal.
something I can get behind, you know? But if I'm making your goal, it's just not going to be that meaningful.
No, it has to be you.
Yeah.
It's your life.
So true.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm actually blown away, Jane. Like, this has been really cool.
I feel like we're gonna slip into our SNL, the kitchen thing, that skit. It's like, that was really good. Thanks, Joe. Thanks for that. That was really yummy.
That cup of tea was invigorating.
That was
It was
really
so
refreshing.
Good.
It was a refreshing kombucha.
Was there hibiscus?
I think there was a little mint.
By the way, Jay, you're amazing.
Same with you. Take your compliment.
Clearly, Joe's dope.
Okay,
like,
there we go.
I don't think that's in question. See, but it's more like jokey arrogance.
No. Just
but like the serious stuff, like it's hard to be serious. Like
when I do this stuff, are people gonna be annoyed with us? They're gonna like listen to this and be like, "Oh,
have you heard
Joe and Jane,
Lauren and I?"
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like it's a lot. It's a lot of energy. There's a lot less nerdy energy because Lauren is like the queen of nerds. Like I don't know how I'm still blown away. Where I'm like, how much of a nerd are you? Because you look at her.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I literally wouldn't understand you if not for my husband. No, honestly. Like I didn't watch Star Wars. Like he brings me into the Marvel zone. Again, this is why you married that man. I know.
Actually, I think early on, I would have been like, hey, are you sure? And she hasn't seen Star Wars?
Yeah, no. Like it was, like a lot of your references, I have to cross-reference. Well, and I've gotten better because now I watch these things.
Well, no, you have gotten better because you have to for your children. Like you just have to.
It's a real.
We're living in a nerdy world. Like it's an amazing time to be a nerd. It's not like a bad thing. It's an amazing thing. Like it really is. Like I remember it was an older gentleman and he's like, "Oh, NeuroNerd. Why do you want to be called nerds? It's so negative." I was like, No. It's like a thing now. Like this is a thing.
Actually, the kids love being nerds now.
Yeah, it's like all the cool. I'm doing the cool kids. Like, we are the cool kids.
Yeah, no.
All us brain injury survivors, we are the cool kids.
You're a brain leberty.
I'm a brain leberty. Hashtag brain leberty. Right?
Hashtag yes.
Yeah. Hashtag heal the brain with Jane.
Oh, what?
Are you a stroke or brain injury survivor looking for community and support? Well, the NeuroNerds are here to help. Join our hashtag USORock Facebook group at facebook.com/groups/USORock to connect with other survivors like you.
Plus, read other inspirational brain injury survivor stories on Joe's blog at josorocks.com/USORock. And submit your stories there as well. We want to hear them.
And remember,
USORock.
So laughing at it. I love that. And you have a website?
Yes. It's healingthebrainwithjane.com.
Boom.
Yes. And then, but if you put in Jane Connely OT,
boom.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
It's easy.
And on Instagram, you're Heal the Brain with Jane, but there's dots in between each word.
I know. Sorry about that. It's like heal.the.brain.with Jane.
Wait, is with Jane one word?
Yeah.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is that with dot Jane? Dot. See, that makes me even more uncomfortable than all the dots.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Heal.
It just does. So I say this all the time. Everybody out there, reach out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Say hi. It's exhausting finding new people to talk to.
Yeah, reach out to me too. I like you.
Oh, see, Jane's just like Joe.
It's true. We're like crazy friend makers.
It is. Jane's like on like a little psychopath, like a little Jokerish.
Yeah.
Right? A little
right back at you.
a little Robert De Niro, Cape Fear-ish.
Oh, no, I have no idea.
Yeah,
I'll ask Tim when I get home.
You ask Tim. But it's a little like that. I'm like kind of like the cool psycho guy, you know?
Okay.
I'm like, I just want to help. So
we'll go with it. I'm shaking my head.
I still have my Brain Buddy outreach thing. Every single day since February, I've reached out to a new brain injury survivor.
Love it.
Every day.
Yeah.
Guys,
so important. Joe's
tired. Please make it easy on me.
Plus, he's had a brain injury. Could you just remind him sometimes? Just like check in with him.
like literally, just reach out and say, "Hey, I've been like." If you don't like follow me, you don't have to, but just reach out and say, "Hey, like let's chit chat. I had this type of brain injury. Let's talk, and then we'll converse, and maybe we'll meet in person one day, which is amazing."
So cool.
Right. It really is.
I cried when I saw Joe.
I almost did on the inside.
No, he wasn't crying at all. He was like, hi.
Yeah, I got to tell you why. Because Joe's
all cool.
Yeah, I'm cooler than the other side of the pillow. No, I've had enough tears, Jane. I've had enough tears this week.
I was just hoping we had you could like shed one tear for me. Like one tear for our friendship.
I almost did earlier. Like I was talking about my OT. It was like, it was
for Kaylee.
It was because I love me some Kaylee.
Yeah.
I've been with Kaylee like 3 years. Okay, I've only been stalking.
I'll work up to it. I've only been online for like 7 months.
I've only been stalking you a couple of months because apparently I was a psychopath that reached out to you. I totally forgot that. Joe had brain injury.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm glad you did.
Yeah,
because I really was like, wow. Honestly, I'm going to make you cry now.
No.
Yeah. I think that I think you reaching out was like a pivotal point. Like, I think, honestly, because I was like, is this doing, like, what's happening? Like, is this doing anything? And then you were like, hey, I really liked that. Like, I want to know more about that. And I was like, oh, I'll create content for this guy. Like, you're like my ideal, like, consumer, And he's crying. He's totally crying. The tears are coming down. They're rolling
maybe
down.
watering, but not bawling. Again, it would be worse. It's been established Joe's an ugly crier. And you would have been like, ugh. And people would know, oh, Joe's probably crying.
I don't want to say it, but the truth is I'm actually like a cute crier. Like it's like the tears come down my cheeks and like, like I don't get the like, I get a little red, but I'm always a little red. And then my eyes turn really green. I mean, it's like actually very cute.
I assume you kind of look like Puss in Boots from Shrek when like, it's just so adorable and the eyes get big and wide.
Did you love how I'm like, no. Ew.
Yeah. I don't look like a cat.
Yeah, I'm like, ugh.
It was Antonio Banderas. He is a very attractive man. See, attractiveness.
Attractive.
Yeah, it's so attractive. It's a problem.
It's true.
Sorry, Felice. I'm going after Antonio Banderas. Apparently.
Yeah, Felice, watch out. There's been 2 times during this session. I actually really like the SNL. Like, yes, and that like I like that.
Every
voice.
time it goes like down, I think the SNL. And now deep thoughts, and then something completely inappropriate from Jack Handy.
Yes.
Jane, I think you're amazing. Like, I really do. I'd love to do this again.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I think so everybody's amazing, but there's like certain people who I'm like, oh, I could do this like frequently. I think you're amazing. I think so. By the way, you need your own podcast.
Oh my God.
You absolutely do because you have the passion, you have the energy, and the way you get your point across, I think it's going to resonate with a lot of people. Like I really mean that. And I love what you do for our community. And I love that you're part of our community.
Thank you for welcoming me into it.
Yeah. And also I'm the gatekeeper.
Yeah, you are.
That's right. Also like just being so happy to be here in this community. You know what I mean? Like, and I hope you're never actually part of this community, but like I can't stress how important you are to our community. Because it means a lot to us. It does, because a lot of people don't understand what we go through. They'll kind of get it, but they just don't. You work with them every day and you actually care. It should be care and heal and grow with the brain with Jane. No, that's like way too, it'd be weird on a t-shirt, but you actually care and it shows. And the lives that you've changed, like I've seen it in some of the videos.
Yeah.
Like I know that look. I know that feel, and like you're changing lives, and I'm so thankful that you're here, and I know you, and I hope you keep continuing to do that. I hope we can work together and like make this big, huge world even better and help as many people as possible. Because I think that's why we do what we do. We genuinely we care for people and we want to help them.
For sure. And
I'm so thankful that you're here. With me here right now, live and in person.
Yes.
Right? You tiny, amazing person. By the way, side note, Jane's really short.
Joe's freakishly tall.
I am freakishly tall. Freakishly tall if you consider 6'2".
It is actually. That's like a foot taller than me. It's like in plus some.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe a little bit more than a foot.
Okay, whatever. I actually wearing my heels today. I've got my slip-on heels.
Oh, you know what's crazy? I didn't even notice.
So thank you. This has been awesome.
You can follow Jane at heal.the.brain. Wait. Dot with Jane.
Yes,
on Instagram.
And
Joe got it. You can also go to healingthebrainwithjane.com or search Jane Connely OT and it'll take you to Healing the Brain with Jane.
Yep.
all this
and
information.
There's a lot of good stuff there, free stuff.
There really is. It's a lot of great information and a lot of essential information that we don't necessarily get immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right there. All we have to do is go find it. We have to be our own advocates. We have to fight for ourselves. We can start by just gathering up this information for ourselves. So definitely do that. Thank you, Jane. You can follow me at Joso Rocks everywhere. You can follow us at the NeuroNerds everywhere. Follow Lauren at Lauren L. Manzano on Instagram. And on that beautiful, healing, occupational therapy note, this NeuroNerd is out. Oh, that was cool. That was so cool. I didn't ask your nerdum.
Oh,
That's
I don't
cool.
have one.
Yeah, you do. It's OT.
Oh, yeah.
It's for sure OT.